Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Movement Monday. My name is Jordy and today I'm going to be taking you through, I'm going to call it the plank series. So just basically the plank, its different variations and how you can modify it to best suit you. Okay, so to start off with, just to show you what the basic plank looks like. So what most of you know the plank to be is this particular hold or pose right here. Okay, now this is what I would refer to as the elbow plank. Okay, then you get the high plank where you are actually on your palms and your arms are straightened. And then we have the modified plank where you can either have your knees on the ground, both in the high and the elbow plank. Okay, so those are the three different types of planks that I would use, but I'd use them in different scenarios. So for example, the normal elbow plank, you'll see that the angle is a bit different to the high plank. And if you think according to physics and angles and gravity, the more your body moves like this, the easier it will be, because you'll start moving into somewhat of an alignment with the gravity. The more horizontal you become, the more force there is and surface area to be pulled down by gravity. I hope this is making sense in your brain. So in this position, I'm going to use the word core musculature, so the muscles of the anterior body, so your abs, your hip flexors and your shoulders, will take a lot more strain because your body is at a different angle. Okay, it is more horizontal to the ground, whereas at this angle it makes it a little bit easier because your angle is a little bit different. So to truly test this, try a plank on the bed or on a chair. So like I'm going to use the box here. So in this position you'll find it's exponentially easier doing it here than it is doing it here because the angle has changed. Same concept with going down on the elbows versus being here. The difference between those two is just a lot less than doing it on something a lot higher. Okay? Now let's get into a little more, specific differences. So when I would use the high plank more, because the high plank places a lot more emphasis on the shoulders, I would use that. So if I have someone who needs to work on shoulder stability, I would use the high plank more so than the elbow plank. Reason being, when you're in this position, there's a lot more activation happening around the shoulders, particularly in the serratus anterior, which plays a key role in the movement of your scapula. Okay, and this is also in terms of shoulder health and so on. So if it was someone who needs a little more shoulder work, I would preferably use the high plank. And if it's someone who needs more work in the midsection, I would use the elbow plank. And then of course, if you are struggling with both the high and the normal elbow plank, a nice way to modify that is by putting the knees down on the ground. Okay? And this leads us to basically the key performance indicators of KPIs or keys of performance. Yeah. How it would look and what you need to look out for when doing all these versions. So the modified included as well. So when you are planking, the common trends are, all the common things to look out for is that you have a straight line pretty much from your shoulder through to your ankle. So you'll see my shoulders, my hips, my knees, and my ankle should be in somewhat of a straight line. Okay? When you modify this, the straight line will therefore be from your from your knees to your shoulders instead. Okay? Sometimes I might tweak this and bend the rule a little bit and initiate slightly higher hips. Okay? This is just to kind of initiate more of a rounding of the back to prevent arching of the back. Okay? So just bear that in mind. Same thing applies within the high plank. You need, or we would also call this the push-up position. So you'll have a straight line from your shoulder all the way through to your ankle. Okay? Same rule applies. What we're looking out for is not to arch the lower back. You want to tighten these abdominals so that you're keeping a nice straight line. Tighten the abdominals, squeeze the glutes. Those are probably the two most important cues for that particular movement. So that is it for our Movement Monday. I hope you learned something out of it. If not, if you still have questions on it, please feel free to drop us a comment. Contact us via whatever social media platform you see this on, and we will answer your questions as soon as we get it. Until next time.